This week in Circulation, my colleagues and I are publishing a study which is based on a survey of hospitals participating in Hospital at Home, which is a learning collaborative sponsored by the American College of Cardiology to help hospitals exchange information, learn from each other, so that they can best implement strategies which will reduce readmission rates, improve recovery for patients who have been hospitalized. In May of 2010, my colleagues and I began a survey of these hospitals. 599 hospitals at that time were participating in Hospital at Home. We now have many more. Between that time and about 8 months later, we were able to obtain a 91% response rate from those hospitals. We asked a lot of questions about what they were doing. We wanted to know what were they trying to implement in order to reduce the readmission rates, to improve recovery, to help patients do better. We collected a lot of information about this. In fact, I've published some of it already showing that these strategies, which seemed to make a lot of sense, were being underutilized. In this paper, what we did was link that information to their actual readmission rates and tried to understand which of these strategies were most importantly associated with lower readmission rates. Which ones of these strategies seemingly help patients recover best? Here's what we found. We saw that the hospitals that were cooperating best with the local hospitals around them seemed to do better. And the hospitals that were collaborating with the physicians most actively seemed to do better. The hospitals in which a nurse was engaged in med reconciliation seemed to do better. And the hospitals that arranged for follow-up before the patient was sent home from the hospital, making sure that the patient had all the information that they needed in order to get the appointment next, that is, had the appointment, seemed to do better. And those hospitals which designated someone in the hospital to follow up on the tests which hadn't been completed, the things that were pending so that they could transmit that to the patient and the providers after discharge, seemed to do better. In total, these are very sensible strategies. We were quite pleased to see the relationship with readmission. There are many other things that we measured that seem to have a weaker relationship or no relationship, statistically significant relationship with the outcome. But in this rather small study, there was a question of power for many of the strategies. So it was quite good that we did find a cluster that were associated. What was disappointing was that many of these strategies, which make so much sense, were being underutilized. Most of the strategies were being used in fewer than half of the hospitals. Only the med reconciliation by the nurse was being used in more than half. And in some of them, we were only talking about 20% dissemination of these strategies. We've been in some discussions with hospitals since then, and there still is slow dissemination of these types of strategies. So we feel as if now we're developing a scientific basis for what might make the most difference in improving readmission rates, improving recovery of patients, and we've identified an opportunity for improvement in that many of these hospitals have not yet implemented these strategies. So the study shows important results around linking actions by the hospitals with the outcome, and we believe an actionable result with regard to what hospitals can do to help improve their own results and help their patients do better.